Hello everyone and welcome back to Run It Up number 89. We're here today playing a $100 buy-in tournament on ultimatepoker.com. I just registered a minute ago. I'm pretty sure that was the first or maybe the second hand that I've played. We're about to go on break in not that many minutes, and we'll obviously pause the video and go from there. I wanted to do something a little bit different. We haven't done a tournament in a while, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do something a little bit different than all the cash game grind. So let's talk a little bit about what this tournament is. There are currently 111 total people that have registered. Average stack is 11,000 chips, so we're still pretty early on in the tournament. And blinds go up every 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm not quite sure and don't quite remember. I think they're 15-minute levels, though. So we've got ourselves a relatively deep, slow Sunday, although obviously we'll have some work to do, at the 100, 200, and I think it's 1-2 ante is the next level. Nope, 153 ante. So we've got some work to do. It's a pretty huge jump, actually, to go from 100, 200... To go from 100, 200 to 153, 30 is actually a crazy huge jump, right? Because the way you can compare blind structure jumps and stuff is you count how many chips you paid per orbit. So you're paying 300 chips in orbit at level 4, and then at level 5 or whatever it is, you're paying 450 in blinds, and then another 270 in antes. So you're paying an insane, like over double jump from 4 to 5. It's actually pretty crazy. So hello. Oh, I guess you guys can't even see. I got it stuck in the corner. Someone saying hello. I said hello. A very non-interesting interaction. So I had a interesting little weekend. Obviously, we took off from Friday. I miss you guys. Friday was actually the only day that I had off the last few days. But you guys will be happy to hear that at least you are the happy beneficiary to what I was working on. I think I shot like 5 videos for Ultimate Poker on Saturday and Sunday. So I had 2 pretty much full work days and then hopped on to do some play here. And I haven't been feeling too great. To be honest, I've had a bit of like a sore throat thing. So I said, what better way to cure a sore throat than some long tournament casting? That's it. That's what I do for the Legion. That's it. No complaints in there, making videos, no big deal. Boy, a lot of talking going on, but not to us. So King and Jack, of course, were worth calling here against Sharon Osbourne Cyborg version in the big blind. Limp and certainly calling this little raise. Could definitely even have the best hand. If not, how bad could it be? Let's see 3 dealer. That's a pretty solid 3 all in all. I'm going to check and call, I think. I don't think anything else makes any more sense. Check raising seems very silly. Check folding seems absolutely absurd. Let's see a turn card, dealer. Okay, that is a pretty good card. Now we have 5 in a row to go with our purr. I am planning on doing that check call game. We could be beat by Ace King, but that would be a pretty crazy sequence of unlucky things to occur for us to be beat here. I believe I'm just going to think a while and call, representing that we have a hand like 10-9, Jack-10, maybe even like some sort of like 10-7 of clubs sort of a hand, something like that. Club on the river does not scare me much because there aren't too many hands that our opponents should have that have clubs in them. Perhaps that will inspire our opponents to bluff, though, which would be lovely. If our opponent bombed this river, I'd be a little concerned, but all we've done is limp call, check call, check call. I can't imagine we could ever fold our hand here. I don't think we straight up win too often, but I can't imagine we can ever fold. All right. Well, we could have lost a hell of a lot more chips than we did, but I actually think we played our hand nearly optimally, and we lost. We had to have lost the minimum because we didn't put any aggressive chips in the pot. Limp called pre, King Jack versus Ace King. Yep, we lost the minimum pre, on flop, on turn, on river. I don't think we could have lost less. I mean, maybe we could fold river against like the nittiest nit that ever knitted, but we don't know that. It's Sharon. She's a cyborg. We can't assume that about Cher over there. So, yeah. All right. Well, I got a little bit of work to do, but at least it didn't hurt us too badly. I mean, all in all, we got straight over straighted, and we only lost 1,800 and then turn. And so we didn't lose that much all in all. We lost, I guess, very near 4,000 total. So we'll be on break in about a minute here, and then we'll get back and try to get unstuck at the 150-300 level. We got some work to do. Hopefully we'll round it up, you know? Oh, yeah. Did I say this is a $100 buy-in? So, yeah, we're in for a hundo. Would love to win first place, almost $3,000. That would look beautiful on the bankroll over there, which, yeah, I gave the lazy. I just wrote it. I didn't use the magical run-it-up stencil. I know. You're upset. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm under the weather. I feel like, you know, you got to give me a break. I'm doing a video. I couldn't do a stencil. The stencil had to go. Pretty happy with king and queen here. Certainly going to minimum raise. 400 dealer against the cat avatar in the big blind. Let's see how this works out for us. All right. 300 chips. Add to the pile. No big deal. So, all right, we are on break. I'll see you guys back. You won't even know I'm gone. All right, we are back. 10-9 offset here, going right into the muck. I guess we didn't talk about our opponents at this table, but I don't think we know anybody here except for 7 Deuce Nuts, who I think we've seen around a little bit before. So I got a nice little pile of Dear J Carvers here that I've accumulated from all the unread Dear J Carvers. So I thought, hopefully we'll relax, run it up, read some old Dear J Carvers, catch up a little bit. Sounds like a pleasant evening, though I will have to be drinking water. I have to give up the illusion that I don't drink anything. Usually I try not to drink in videos, but I might have to today. You can blame the illness. It's fine. All right, let's read some Dear J Carvers. If you want to write me an email, dearjcarver@gmail.com, and you might see your email read here on the show. I have a lot of all right, I'm gonna pull some emails from the middle of this pile. So maybe you wrote me an email in November. Today might be your day. Let's take a look. Dear J Carver, short question, long answer is the subject. All right, that seems like a reasonable thing to say. Dear J Carver, what makes live poker your strongest game? Please regale us with nuggets of live poker wisdom. Eugene. Well, thanks, Eugene. I appreciate your email. I'll be happy to regale you with some tales of live poker prowess. I don't have like any sick things that I have like ready to go, but I feel like live poker is just, any real high level poker player is probably going to tell you that if you had to say, let's play a poker game for your life, most people would probably prefer to play live. You know, I mean, obviously if you're playing the guys who are better than you live, you're playing a Phil Ivey or a Negreanu type, then you'd prefer to play online. But let's say you were playing a random player who was weaker than you at poker, you would of course prefer to play live in almost every setting, because there's so much more information you can glean live than you can online. If you're a true high top elite level poker professional, there is so much information out there available to you at a live poker table. You know, I really think that the best poker players in the game are constantly analyzing, absorbing. They're constantly, you guys know, I love this. This is what they're doing. That's right. It's siphoning information off the table into their brains and then adjusting their strategy as appropriate. So I feel like it's just a matter of the more information you collect, the better decisions that you make. Something that is true in all decisions, I'll point out. And as you develop opponent profiles, situational analysis, so on and so forth, you can make better decisions and thus be more likely to win a higher amount of money. So that's really it. I don't think that's even much wisdom. It's just the truth, yo. It's just the truth. I'm just speaking the truth, bro. That is what it is. No, thank you. Poker software question. Yeah, no one wins. Nobody wins in a poker software question. I'm sorry. Dear J Carver, greetings from an Australian fan. Hey, thanks, Australian fan. I've watched everything you've put out since the eating cake days. That's a long time. And while I've always enjoyed your videos, you have improved. Yes, I have improved quite a lot as a caster. Thank you. I'm glad you think so as well. Very sad that we're folding this here, but obviously we have no choice. 900 chips is a world to us. We've only got 6,000. I can't put in 900 chips with 6-8 offsuit as much as I would like to. My question is this. In many of your videos, you mentioned playing Magic. Have you or do you play any other card games? No. Thanks from a longtime viewer, Amir. Although you spell Amir not the way I think you would. Is it Amir? 2 E's. Ameer. I would guess it's Amir, but who knows? It's a mystery. I haven't played a lot of other card games besides Magic and poker, to be honest. Like I loved the Star Wars collectible card game when I was like in 3rd grade, but I never learned how to play, and so I don't think that really counts. And no, I think Magic and poker is it for me, pretty much, for real true card games. But I've always been a fan of strategy, gaming, stuff like that. Ever since I was a kid, I was a gamer. I was a gamer before I was anything else in poker or whatnot. Poker was just like the game of choice that turned out that I had a good skill set for, and it was the one where you could make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the... and it was very much like a work to result ratio for me. I put in a year of work, I made a lot of money. It worked out really well for me. If I could have done the same in Magic or in Pinochle, I'm sure I would have, but the money obviously is so much lower in both of those, and in any other game really. There are very few games you can make more money in than poker. Is there even a game? I'm like bricking on there being a game that you could play that. You know, I mean, compared to most other, even professional sports, most prizes are not what they are in poker. Obviously, there's less sponsorship money and stuff like that, but yeah, I happened to get really lucky that I found a game and was good at a game that I could make a good amount of money at in a short amount of time. Okay. Let's do another cut. Let's go back in time even more. Let's go back in time even more. All right. Back in time we go. 8-2 soft suit, I suppose that was going into the muck. Dear J Carver, greetings from Lee in Australia. Hey Lee in Australia. How you doing over there? I've heard you say you may be coming to Australia for the Aussie Millions. Yes, that was the thing that was going to happen, but unfortunately is not. However, I think that there is a good chance that I can make it out there for the World Series events down in the end of the year. But no, I can't make it for Aussie Millions because of a conflict with things here in America. I'm sorry. I really want to go to Australia and hang out with all you Australian fans, but it doesn't look like that is a thing that will happen in the next few months. But yeah, your question is, are we going to do anything if I do get there? Of course, duh. We will definitely do stuff once I'm there, but getting there does seem to be the hard part. Oh, this is an interesting email to find in the time warp. Dear Jay Carver, I have found your videos and am about 6 weeks behind. And this email is from 6 weeks ago. So I wonder if you're still with us, sir. But thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Blah, blah, blah. And then you say some words, and then you ask a question. What would your suggestions be for someone that is physically unable to get back into the brick and mortar game and unable to play online legally? Well, I would bet you that probably applies to a vast majority of you. By the way, the question is from Andy K. Thanks, Andy K. I feel like a lot of you guys are in that same situation where you don't have good live poker options, you don't have good online poker options, and that really sucks, and I really feel bad for you. I mean, I was in the same spot living in New York for the last 2 years. And really, there's not a ton of good paths. I mean, obviously, there are bad online poker options, and then there are, in some cases, there are bad or at least suboptimal live poker options. And there's really not a lot of great things you can do. Like, I would say that if you can find friends to play with, you can, like locally, I think that's always a good thing. Obviously, you're not going to make hundreds of millions of dollars in that circuit, but you might still get practice experience, keep your game sharp. It depends on the level of poker player you are, of course. we're going to make a tight fold here. But against none of the gun raise, ace deuce suited doesn't exactly play fantastically, especially when we're putting in 9% of our stack or whatever it is. So I would say that your best bet might just be to create like almost like a poker study group / like poker home game with friends that are similarly minded near you. And then I think, you can still find communities where you can contribute and talk about hands, like even on my Facebook page, and that would be facebook.com/J Carver Poker if you're not already an internet friend of mine. On Facebook, we've been talking hands. By the way, it kills me, but we can't steal here. I feel like someone is too often going to fight us back, and we really need these chips, and I don't think this is a particularly high percentage chance conversion of steal attempt. So on my Facebook page, we've been discussing hands very often, not just even me officially, but people have been posting hands on my wall, and there's been a lot of feedback. Somebody posted a hand and got like 80 comments like 2 days ago. So if you're looking for communities like that, actually I think the Run It Up community is not a bad place where you can maybe find people who are similarly minded, and you can just chime in, and the way that you'll get better and keep your poker passion, alive, you watch somebody play a hand and you go, I would not have played a hand that way. This is how I think I should have played the hand. And then someone else goes, you're an idiot. Stones, what are you talking about over there? Of course you should do this. Obviously, I think we should keep it a little bit more productive. You guys should be nice to each other over there. But I think, generally speaking, I think that's a great way to stay sharp and all of that. Watch videos, actively participate in conversation about hands, and try your best to play poker when you can play, and write your legislators in the meantime. All right. Nope. Next section. Let's do another little cut and pull. Dear J Carver, I'm a big fan of yours. Okay, thank you. I don't know why I made you like Dracula all of a sudden. I am a big fan of yours. Okay? I find your videos both educational and entertaining. I don't know why I'm making fun of you at all. You're writing very normal things, and I should be more grateful, apparently. Okay. Oh, you want to know about my setup? Hardware, software. Can you show us what you have on your screens? From a Brazilian run-it-upper, Vamos! Strauss. Yeah, well, I actually think that the most impressive part of this whole setup, obviously, you wrote this actually in November, and that was when things were still a little shaky from time to time. I think things have been good for a while now. But this little fella is a Rode broadcaster. This little fella is a Logitech C9 something, some sort of it's only a webcam. Actually, all of the cameras here are just like $80 webcams. And I use vMix to record the videos, XSplit to record the streams, and I think that's it, pretty much. I think that's about it for what I use to record. Thank you for your email, sir. Hey, J Carver. Oh, sorry. I messed it up. You wrote Dear J Carver. I made it a Hey, J Carver. Boy, we're just getting no hands here. It's brutal. We're going to need to pick up a hand by the time the blinds go up next time, because blinds will be 200, 400 with a 40 ante. Which is not a huge increase, but it will be time to get a little bit of running up done. I don't have to run it up all the way, but we're going to have to run it up a little bit of the way by then. All right. Dear J Carver, do you or have you played any musical instrument, and are you any good at it? Well, I mean, I played piano for a long time. When I was a kid, I played for piano from like 5 to 12, 5 to 13. And then I played a bunch of like instruments in school, but never particularly good at them. Saxophone, I played for a couple years. Clarinet, I played for 4 years, a long time. That's right, I was a clarinet player. What of it, bitch? That's about it. I was probably okay at the piano, but I honestly have no idea how to judge my skill because I didn't interact with other human beings that also played the piano, really. I mean, I had a teacher, and we did recitals and stuff like that every once in a while, but I never had like piano friends where I was like, oh my god, that guy's a hot pianist over there. He's he's a hot rider with them keys over there. I never had that moment, so I don't know if there's some sort of comparative sort of experience to be like. I don't know how good I was, which is the answer to your question, I guess. I was probably fine. I would guess I was probably like slightly above normal because I was pretty studious about it when I was doing it. And if you could just drill, that's right, you wrote in parentheses, and if you could just drill any instrument, just like any musician of your choice, what and who would it be? Well, I'm not sure what exactly you mean when you're saying if I could just drill an instrument like a musician of my choice. Can I drill a musician of my choice? Is that what you're asking me? Because that's a different kind of question, sir. But I'm going to assume you mean if I could pick an instrument to play, what would I pick? And of course there would be guitar. I mean, obviously, it would be guitar. I could play a great Guitar Hero, back in the day, but not even, like, super great, but decently great. I was never the best. I was never the hottest Guitar Hero player around, but I could get my way through most of it on expert. I felt pretty good on that at my peak of skill. Thanks for the vids. Peace. Gabriel, thanks for the vids. Oh. Hey, J Carver. You wrote Hey, J Carver this time. I'm a relatively new member of the Run It Up Army. First-time writer. Love the videos. Love the humor. They make my workday that much more palatable. Keep it up. I'm glad to make your workday more palatable. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you're still with us. I like how your subject is Dylan Tyler, and your email is about 2 months old. Okay. Hopefully you're still with us, sir. Funny you should mention the names Dylan and Tyler in your running up number 71. These were the final two names that my wife and I decided to choose between, with Dustin as a close third. I'm glad you didn't pick Dustin. I have nothing against the Dustins out there. I have a very close friend named Dustin. It's only a specific needle. Don't worry, kids. After long deliberation, we settled on Dylan. Very good choice. Very good choice. I completely concur with your decision. Is there any chance we can call and see it flop here? Or am I just giving away 400 chips? I'm probably giving away 400 chips here, right? Because this guy is going to just go to town so often. Apparently not. All right. Okay. We should have just folded, I think. This might have been a bit of a gift. It might have been a bit of a one big blind gift there. But, we make a pair, we go all in. That would have been nice. Instead we just fold, I guess. I think it's just bad because too often we, I guess make a pair, go all in was going to work, though. Too often this guy just re-raises and then we're just giving it away. And, he really should be if he is super aggressive or even, like, cognizant of, like, what's going on. All right, so you named your kid Dylan, which is a very good choice. And then a lot of words. When deciding to play a re-entry tournament with multiple day one flights, how would you decide the best flight to play in? Assuming you only have one bullet to spend. Well, that's a huge assumption. I mean, that is definitely an assumption I am not used to having to deal with. I mean, obviously for me, for playing a re-entry tournament, I would play in the earliest flight so I can play as many flights as I can so I have the highest chance of making it to the day 2 or whatever it is as fast as possible. If you only have one bullet, though, you should just pick the softest day. If you only for sure have one bullet, you're not going to satellite, you're not going to do anything else, then hopefully this guy opens, by the way. All right, I guess we're a min-raising, not folding ob. All right, so yeah, I would just say pick the softest flight. Early, you say, should I pick early or late? Whatever fits your sleep schedule best is probably fine. I think it's really pretty much just like whatever a good thing would be for you. I don't think it makes a huge difference and all of that. So I think I'm going to bet small and then not fold. Bet like 800 and call if he shoves. Do I love it if he shoves? No, I won't love it, but I think mathematically we're not going to be able to fold. If he ever doesn't have a pair and we fold, it's a catastrophe. And if he just has like 10-9, we have the right price anyway. Against a call, I would have been quite concerned, but at this point, obviously, if he has his beat, he gets the 2,800 chips. That's all you can do at this point. What to bet? I mean, shoving is obviously fine, but I'm a little afraid that shoving is going to get him to fold, and I would really like him not to fold. So I guess I'm going to bet like 1800, which might even look stronger than shoving, assuming he thinks we're not the stupidest player in the tournament. But I don't think it makes a huge difference either way. We might have actually made a sweet 800 chips on the flop that he like called with like ace 5 or something like that. It's actually possible. Boy, I am really glad the camera is blocking the nonsense. Who needs to see it? I'm glad we're punishing them. No, you don't get it. You don't get camera time. The camera's blocking all the silly nonsense. So yeah, that was my answer to your question. Play what makes you happy and what you think has the most value for you. And then you asked to do some sort of online tournament with Run It Up Warriors. I would love to. When there's either a play money client that I can do globally, or even just like in America would still be nice. I think I can steal this. Obviously, we didn't steal with 7-3 suited in this same exact spot, but we've been pretty tight all in all, and we do have a king here, risking 800 to win pretty much 920, right? So math is hard. Let's see if we can get this through here. This will be a nice accumulation for us. Blinds going up in 9 minutes, so we have a little bit of time to wait if we do lose this here. It looks like we probably will. Mathematically, if we knew this guy was like a super loose internet kid, it wouldn't be a catastrophe for us to call, given that we're getting 3-1. It's a crazy price. I mean, I used to not even talk about calling in spots like this because no one really does, but it's actually almost completely fine. I actually think like it's very, very close to being completely fine, where most people would still fold. I still think folding is fine, just because 1,300 chips represents such a big percentage of our stack, blah, blah, blah. But mathematically speaking, we should really be in call, make a pair mode, because we're just not, you just make so many mistakes, mathematically speaking. If he just has ace-queen and we fold, oh my god, it's such a catastrophe for us. Dear ultimate cage constructing, hand maestro, communicator of poker, wit and knowledge, water drinking advocate, demon pseudonymer of talent. I've never said the word pseudonymer before. Demon pseudonymer of talent, J Carver. Love your intro, sir. Love your intro. Dear ultimate cage constructing, hand maestro, communicator of poker, wit and knowledge, water drinking advocate, demon pseudonymer of talent, J Carver. That is quite the intro, sir. That is a new high. I give you the new watermark for intros. It's not a Dear J Carver, but you did write Dear J Carver and then wrote a lot of words in between. I give you credit, sir. Big props. That's right. That's what you got, sir. Thank you for running it up, first of all. You're welcome for running it up, first of all. My question. What is your favorite sort of music to listen to, either for your listening pleasure or for earbud poker table listening? I've tried to guess, and your UFC interests plus rather zen-like classy attitude make this hard for me to figure out. Could you name 3 artists? I certainly could. I feel like I have a pretty wide variety, generally speaking, of musical interests. Okay, so here we can either raise, fold, or shove. I actually think shoving is probably just best. There's only 8 players at the table. Ace-10 suited is going to be a favorite against 7 random hands, obviously. If we get called, we're obviously going to not be happy about it, but I think this hand is probably the bottom of the things we shove with, all in all. Hopefully this works out for us. If not, run the cards. I have 2 puppy dog feet. We're only 3 puppy dog feet away from victory. I'll point out, most likely. Right, got it done there. Let's continue with your question. So, 3 artists. I have a pretty big musical spectrum-y range there. I'm a big fan of the nice Ace and King. I think my favorite artist, single artist of all time, like as an adult, is probably Lupe Fiasco. I love the lyrics. I love how he constructs his songs. I find them like "Hurt Me Soul" by Lupe Fiasco is probably my favorite song ever. I just feel like he just weaves it together beautifully. Beautifully done. I also recently loved Picasso Baby and Tom Ford, both by Jay-Z. I thought those were both great pieces, generally speaking. Hopefully this guy does something aggressive and doesn't just give us a walk. Come on. All right, he didn't walk at least. Let's see if we can make a little bit of money here. Raise 900, 1,000. I think 1,000 is probably very equal to 900 in terms of it's only 600 more. He's getting 3-1. I feel like he will continue here at least some percentage of the time. If he has a hand that's like Jack 5 offsuit, he's probably not continuing super often either way. I could have just made it 1,200 here as well. Maybe that would have been slightly better. But I really just thought he wasn't that strong, and I wanted him to stick around. Looks like we didn't get our way, though. All right, we made 200 chips more than we necessarily could have. So I do like Jay-Z. I really love Lupe Fiasco, although his recent stuff has not been as good as the older stuff. But I've also recently discovered. Oh, let me see. I don't want to get it wrong. I've recently discovered Broken Bells, which I thought actually their stuff is really amazing as well. And I've been back on a Nirvana kick a lot lately because it was the 20th anniversary of Unplugged. I have a pretty big musical spectrum. I actually feel like I can enjoy quite a bit, whether it's Taylor Swift or Kanye West. I actually think Kanye West is actually really good as well. I've been listening to a lot of Runaway by Kanye West lately. Yep, that's the thing. I think Kanye is brilliant, and it's there's the Beatles, Beatles up there obviously number one, and then Michael Jackson, up there obviously very high, and then there's Kanye West probably 1, 2, 3. Is he joking? I don't even know anymore. I guess we could actually call here. A little bit of silly things can happen on turns and rivers. We can always just turn a 6, which would be sweet. Also a 9 would be sweet. 5 is also probably good. I think a diamond may also incur us winning the pot. Deuce does give us more outs. It's at least possible that it goes check, check here if our opponent just has nothing, which would be sweet. And we can win the pot on bricks as well. Well, boys, we very rarely show up here with a hand as bad as this one. So let's try to bluff it, shall we? I think 1,400 will potentially get it done if our opponent has king high or worse. If our opponent has ace high or better, I don't think it's particularly likely that's going to work, but certainly not going to work when our opponent rivers a 10. But I think our play was pretty clearly going to work in a lot of cases. He limped, and then turn card is... If the river card isn't a 10 or a jack, I would assume we win that pot. So we were a pretty big favorite to win that one. All things considered. Actually, I guess that's not true, because we also would lose on aces, maybe even kings. I may or may not try to bluff on those hands. So we re-raised once, we opened once, and Mr. Miles re-raised us, but I don't think that's enough of a reason to just fold our button here. Let's see if Mr. Miles allows us to do this here. Last time he did this, he defended when we had ace-jack of hearts. If he re-raises, we obviously will have to just fold. We'd be sad about it, but we'd have to fold. Making sure you're aware we'd be sad about it. But all right, we got it through. And then you ask if I have time. For you, sir, I have time for you. Don't you ever feel like run-up distracts from your poker career? Selfishly, I hope it doesn't, and I get the feeling it doesn't. But I've rooted for you since your deep run in the World Series of Poker in 2012, and I want you to run it up as much in your own bank as you can. Much love, Joe. Well, thanks, Joe, first of all. Awesome email. I'm also going to just shove here. We could min-raise, but I think the problem with min-raising in this spot is that we too often make mathematical mistakes. Right, we min-raise, somebody shoves with 2 7s, 2 9s, we just fold. That would be really sad. This is a sad spot for us as well. We're going to need a queen or some spades. Otherwise, looks like our time here will be short. Well, we rivered a straight draw. What does that get us? Not too much, I am afraid. All right. We did not run it up, but, hey, we tried. So to finish answering your question before we wrap it up completely here, I don't really feel like running up distracts too much. I feel like it's almost like an evolution kind of sort of, and that they will synergize better later on. But as of right now, I think majority of my attention and focus is towards Run It Up for sure is a big one, and also Ultimate Poker and developing, just becoming better as a broadcaster. I feel like I'm learning a ton in business and everything. Like, this isn't really like a poker phase of my life. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I get back to a time where I travel to if I travel like 9 months of the year in poker. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I don't think that's a favorite, but I wouldn't be shocked if that happens again. But I still have poker goals and ambitions, but I just think this particular time in my life, I'm really enjoying the things that I'm doing. I love casting. I'm loving Run It Up. And when you wrote this email back in November, I'm sure things weren't as developed as they are now. I'm not going anywhere, people, most likely. Unless this illness turns out to be really bad. Let's hope not. So we didn't run it up today. We lost $100 straight exactly. So we're down to $17.86.01. I will adjust the board accordingly. We'll be back running it up hopefully tomorrow. If I'm really feeling sick, then I won't make a video for tomorrow. But hopefully I'm feeling okay. I will let you guys know on Facebook if there is no video. But if there isn't one, I'll just do a video like Saturday or whatever. We'll figure it out. Don't worry, plenty of Run It Up action to come. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry there wasn't more action, but I did what I could with what I got. And we'll see you guys back for more very soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.